Hi, welcome to the Training Them Wisely podcast. I'm your host, Renee Christensen.
And I'm your co-host, Rebecca Messer.
And this is the podcast where we talk all about family discipleship that's authentic, intentional, consistent, and loving. We'll go through family dynamics, relationship, marriage, and more. We're welcome to the podcast. We're glad you're here. We are so glad that you're here today.
Because today we are talking about something that reflects the very heart of Jesus himself, serving others, not from a place of obligation or just because we have to or should, but from a heart that truly desires to function like Christ's heart.
Yeah, because serving isn't something that we just do occasionally. As parents, we are serving all the time. And as we're serving, it's something that we can teach our kids to do daily as well. In small ways, we can teach them through Scripture, because Scripture talks a lot about serving, through modeling serving, and just the way that we love others in our home. That's actually a way of serving as well.
Yeah, because this is a part of following Jesus. Because he said, Mark 10:45, that the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. And if that's what Jesus came to do, then serving really isn't optional.
No, definitely not.
For his followers, it's essential.
Yes, I mean, if the God of the universe came down to earth and chose to serve, to wash feet, even those who betrayed him, I mean, how much more do we want to serve? And the beautiful part is, kids can learn this early. And it's something that my children really, from an early age, if you think about it, like they love to pick up the play brooms and start sweeping and be able to serve others. And their humility as they serve, their compassion, helpfulness, all of these things can grow through daily discipleship. It doesn't have to be a big church project or a special event. Daily ways that we serve are just as important.
Yeah, because we have verses like Philippians 2:3-4 that talks about doing nothing from selfish ambition, but in humility, count others more significant than ourselves. And so we've got to start with Scripture that's going to shape their heart, because that's what's going to help shape an entire day.
It sure is. And that's a verse actually that we have memorized as a family, because it's an important verse that we are living our lives in a servant-hearted way, where we are putting others first, not in a where they stamp down on you type of way, but in a we love others and so we want to serve them.
It's a posture of service.
Yes.
It's not a lording over people and demanding your own way. And I think of, you love to do it all the time. I guess you're rubbing off on me. But in 1 Corinthians 13, where it talks about not insisting on your own way.
Yes.
And so serving is part of loving.
It is very much so a part of loving. Because a lot of times whenever we think of service, you think of the word service project or something big like going on a mission trip or volunteering somewhere. And those are great things to do.
But you do not have to go overseas to do things that are
to serve.
And a lot of people, they're like, I've questioned before, like, okay, you want to go serve overseas. What are you doing to serve right now?
At home. Like where it really matters in the day-to-day life.
Yep. Are they picking up toys without being asked? Are they helping a sibling? Letting someone else go first? Doing their chores with a cheerful heart?
My mom always said, obedience is doing what you're told to do when you're told to do it. With the right heart attitude, with a cheerful heart.
Yes.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, there was that, I think we've all seen it with a comic strip where he's like, was it Dennis the Menace? He said, I may be sitting down on the outside, but I'm standing up on the inside. So yeah, we're really trying to capture the heart here, not just actions. And by giving them opportunities to learn how to serve joyfully, we are giving them the opportunity to make choices that are going to build a solid Christ-like character.
Which is what we are after, because it's not about devaluing themselves as they're serving, but instead it's about what you were saying from 1 Corinthians 13. I love to talk about love because it's important, and service is a part of love. And so when you're serving others, it's really elevating love and because love is actions, right? It's how we are treating others. And so by serving others, you're imitating Christ.
Because he served us. And so when we're operating from a position within him, we are naturally going to be wanting to serve other people. So we need to let our kids see us serving willingly. because serving is caught more than taught. If they always see you being like, do this, do that, do this, do that, but you're never doing it, then they know it's not a priority. So do your kids see you helping neighbors, welcoming people into your home? Hospitality is an important thing with serving. Do they see you serving your spouse joyfully, or are you grumbling and complaining? I think of scenarios that we're all aware of where, let's say a wife asked her husband to do something and him go, oh, your mother, she always, rah, 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 rah. Or the dad has asked his wife to do something and she goes, can't he do this for himself? And that is not what we want to see.
It's not what
in
we
our
want
home.
to see. And it's modeling is such a powerful discipleship tool. One thing that I've noticed, because nobody loves to have to clean well, maybe there's a few people that do. I do not love having to clean my house and do the dishes every day and do the laundry every day. And that is something that with a large family, we all chip in and do it. But one thing I have definitely noticed is that if I am serving them and participating in the cleaning, everybody's attitude is very, very different than every once in a while I don't feel well, or I am really busy and I am sitting down taking care of something else that needs to happen. And that's because I'm not modeling at the same time. And then as they've gotten older, they're able to understand it. But especially whenever they're young, I feel like,
why don't you? My kids have literally asked me, why don't you have to help clean up right now?
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's for kids. They have to get to where, that's why the modeling is important. They need to see that we're willing to serve.
So as they get older, though, with what you were talking about, we can use family discussions to connect serving with faith.
Yes.
So we can ask them at dinner, how did you serve someone today?
We could even point it out. I love doing that. I love going around the table, and especially whenever we've been learning different character traits like service, love, patience, kindness. One thing that we've done is that sometimes it's everybody says something about the person on their right. Other times it's Eric or I that will go around and say different things that we've observed, because it's a way that we can encourage them.
You can also ask the hard questions like, was there a moment when loving and serving someone was hard? Because we're not just trying to equip our kids for the highlights, right? Yes. And when they're going to get applause for man, we're trying to teach them that you are doing the right thing before the Lord.
Yes.
And so we have an opportunity in those hard moments to really dig in, to support them, that they need to do the right thing regardless of if people are fulfilling their responsibilities around them. We did the Fruit of the Spirit activity book. This is a great tool because serving grows from the fruits of the Spirit, right?
Yes.
Kindness, gentleness, goodness, patience. I mean, if you're serving, that's usually not something that's going to come with a lot of glamour. And so you're going to need to do the opposite of what the world would necessarily think is successful, because it's not coming from us.
Yeah.
And in our own strength.
Exactly. And it's so important that they do bear fruit. And that's why we did write the Fruit of the Spirit activity book. You can find that on Amazon, and you can also find it on our website, Training Them Wisely. So where can we serve? We've talked about serving inside the home, but we can also serve outside the home. Whether your kids are in school, church, a homeschool co-op, sports teams. My kids love to go to the playground. There's so many opportunities that there are to serve.
Yep.
You can, one thing that my kids love to do, because I do love to work with hospice patients and be with their family, they will draw cards for the family. The kids might play with children that are involved in that family. One of my children loves to cook and will cook. They'll write letters. So it's the whole family can get involved as we're serving in that way. They could notice that somebody is lonely or new and go and talk to them. They could help their teacher picking up trash. If there's a friend that needs encouragement, that's a blessing to be able to go and do that. That's a form of serving as well. Praying for people. That's something that I've watched several of my kids do on the playground. They start talking and they've asked if they can pray with them about it. So,
and I think sometimes as adults we can get in our heads and overthink these things, but we just need to be mindful of the people around us and be thinking about how can we serve?
Yes.
Who can I serve today? Because I can't tell you, I mean, we've experienced it together, how many times I've been at a playground or I've been on an airplane or I've been doing something, and just in the conversation with someone, you find brokenness.
Yes, there is. And there's so much brokenness.
And you can share with them the love of Jesus.
Yes.
And here's the thing. No matter how bad it is, Jesus' love is more.
It is.
And we are ambassadors according to Scripture. And so by serving, we are in a position to share the love of Christ.
Yes.
Which is hope, which is it's
how can you love someone so much and not talk about them? I mean, whenever we just got back from a vacation, and there were so many opportunities. When we were in the hot tub, I was able to tell like 10 different people about Jesus. On the plane, I was able to tell a woman who's had an incredibly hard life about Jesus, because whenever you love someone, you want to talk about them, and it should be that way with our kids too.
Yep.
That we love Jesus so much, so we want to act like him and we want to talk about him. And so families can serve together. I was talking about hospice, but there's other ways that we can do that as well.
You can write cards to grandparents or shut-in members at church, pick flowers for a neighbor, donate toys or books. You know, one of the great things about, depending on what time of year it is, you can purge some old toys.
Yes.
You can pack a care bag for someone in need.
For the homeless, and keep them in your car. My kids have enjoyed doing that.
Helping with like the military, we used to package up care boxes that we would send over to some friends that we had overseas. Helping with yard work.
Yeah.
That was a big one for us growing up, picking up sticks and other things so that who was mowing, you wouldn't get it's a whole thing.
You can adopt a missionary family with similar age kids, and they could exchange letters, toys. We've done that before. And serving together, it's such a wonderful thing to do as a family, because it really builds love and unity as a family, and it strengthens everybody's faith. And it's just a continuous example of modeling service. Can you think of a time when one of your kids surprised you in a way that they served?
So it's really cute. James is now old enough that he can rinse, load, unload the dishwasher. And one time he did it, and he's like, "Mommy, did you know that I did this? Were you very proud of me?" And I was like, "Okay, we're going to keep working on that." But I was so proud of him, because he's realizing that he can help carry the weight of the household, and he can serve. And kids will start to pick up on it, because especially when you encourage the behavior. I always love, we talk about, catching the kids doing something bad, and we've got to fix it. But we also need to catch them doing things right.
Yes.
Because then we're going to start seeing more of it. And so we need to catch our kids serving. And we do often, as parents, have a responsibility to directly reflect the love of God in their life. And so we need to encourage them in the same way that he encourages us. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we're not God in their life. That's not what I'm trying to say. But we really do need to be that voice of encouragement.
Yeah, of speaking life into them and encouraging them and pointing out what they do well. I mean, people do. I like to be encouraged, and it helps them to want to continue to do those things and to change their hearts. So service, just look for daily opportunities, daily ways that you can serve, and model that for them. Daily conversations about service or other things, just being more Christ-like. That is all a part of discipleship. And God uses these small things that you do every day to help to grow Christ-like compassion in your children.
So if today's episode has encouraged you, we would love for you to like the podcast, subscribe so that you never miss an episode, and visit Training Them Wisely, because there you'll find all of our discipleship tools, including the Fruit of the Spirit activity book that we mentioned, and other Bible studies that can support daily heart formation in your home.
And we will see you 2 weeks from now as we continue to learn to train our kids wisely. Have a great week.